Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're now on the way to 12,800 subscribers. Thank you to the new subscribers yesterday. And of course, if you could click the like button, I'd be incredibly grateful. Clicking it early in the video helps even more. So if you're thinking about it, ahhing, do it now. Plenty to talk about today. It is a Wednesday. We're 1 day away. We've got the England game tomorrow. By the way, we'll be doing a watch along for the England game down on Big Up, over on Big Up, which is linked down in the description below. But yeah, there's loads of you here and plenty to talk about. So we'll get into it. Icarus, Junior Films, Hyper, Layla, Pekka. Thank you very, very much for being a member of the channel for 3 months. You announced this half an hour ago, but I appreciate it. And you just put a message of hello. Well, hello, Pekka, and thank you. Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, VV Vlad, Saliba, Jax Hacks, Ethan Udall, Tentago, Philip, Matthew, Jellybelly, Joshua, Ross Lawman, and many, many more. It is good to see you all. We just conceded against Bayern. Damn. I was literally just about to say we're beating Bayern. The women, of course, that is. The women's team beating Bayern, but apparently now they are not. Why are you always late? Like, seriously, it's starting to annoy me. I'm on time, so you must just be turning up early, Smithy, which is fine. You know, Smithy, I know you're one of the biggest fans of the channel, so you turning up early is to be expected. Best intro on YouTube. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Rory, you should do a poll. When do most of us think Erdegaard will be back? I've seen so many saying he'll easily be back for Liverpool. I personally don't think we will see him back until mid-November. We might run a poll on that at some point. But the thing is that the issue with that is that it's not really a thing of opinion. Like, none of us are medical experts, and even the medical experts, like there's that Dr. Rajpal on Twitter, like he's like, there's not enough information to go on to have any idea when he's going to be back. So 4 days down, 10 to go, despite the international break. I truly do hate the international break with really quite a burning passion. It's horrific. It is horrific. Yeah, we're going to talk about Saliba, this news that came out today. Kind of want to talk about the big decisions that Arteta has to make this season, because there's a couple of them, and I think it's quite interesting. But the Saliba thing is this. Real Madrid have made William Saliba their top priority signing next summer. The player's entourage have already been contacted, with Real Madrid willing to pay whatever price to convince Arsenal to sell. So this was the big news today, and it gets people panicking, and people are like, oh my God, we're going to lose Saliba. Saliba's gone. If we don't win anything, that's it. He's off. And people really do panic about it. I'm not too panicked. Now, firstly, the source for this piece of news, Alexis Bernard, probably is how you pronounce it, like, not a good source. No, not a big source, not a well-known source. Doesn't write for a reputable outlet. It's just they're called like Le 10 something or other. So it's a random source for starters. Secondly, this is absolute prime international break nonsense. Okay? You take one of the biggest players, obviously from Arsenal, because that gets you clicks, and you link them to the team that you can link anybody to. Very easy to write an article about it. Thirdly, the phrasing of the way it's written tells you that it is nonsense, right? With Real Madrid willing to pay whatever price to convince Arsenal to sell. That, if you ever see an article with wording like that, whatever price, or they'll pay whatever it takes, this, that, and the other, 99% of the time, it is utter drivel. Nonsense. Because no club worth its salt, really no club other than Man United, will pay whatever it takes to get a player. Real Madrid certainly won't. And they haven't in the past. For example, Real Madrid wanted Lenny Yoro this summer, but they weren't willing to pay even half of what Man United were willing to pay. So they didn't get him. The same guy that claims João Felix was close to joining either Arsenal or United 2 years ago. Okay, so he's got form for inaccuracies as well. So yeah, the piece of news itself, I don't think you should take seriously. I'm certainly not. There is a question though. And there is a conversation to be had about our best players. And, you know, whilst that article is probably false, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Real Madrid were interested in Saliba. In fact, Real Madrid will be interested in Saliba. Man City will be interested in Saliba. Bayern Munich will be interested in Saliba. PSG will be interested in Saliba. I could go on and on and on and on. Because William Saliba is arguably the best centre-back in the world. Certainly the best young centre-back in the world. So every club's going to be interested in it. Barcelona would be interested in William Saliba. So I'm sure Real Madrid are interested in him. But that doesn't mean they're going to get him. And he is probably a very difficult player to get. Yeah, Fabrizio Romano recently said Saliba's very happy at Arsenal. So that's one thing. But if you're Madrid, now, first of all, Madrid have to prioritise a right back. They've got Dani Carvajal out for 12 plus months. The only other right back they really have at the club is Vasquez, who's not really a right back but can play there, and he's 33 years old, or Valverde, who again is not really a right back but he can play there. So their number one priority is right back, because at centre back they've got Eder Militao and Rudiger, which is a very strong centre back pairing. They've also got David Alaba, and they've also got Tchouaméni who can play there. So centre back situation isn't too bad for them. Now, Rudiger and Alaba are getting older, but they're not, they're not past it. So, yeah, and then you look at Saliba, and it's like he's going to be the most expensive centre-back in the world if you're going to go out and buy one. He'll demand very high wages. And there are other good centre-backs, not as good as Saliba, but good centre-backs that would be far easier for them to get. Even if they just went down the road, just go and knock on Tottenham Hotspur's door. Just go down the road. When we turn you away, go down the road, knock on Tottenham Hotspur's door. They could easily get Romero or Van de Ven, because those two know that they're not winning anything at Tottenham, and Tottenham would accept the money. So yeah, I'm not worried about it. Saliba rumours to leave right before he enters the 2 years left on his contract, scope for a negotiation. I'm shook. Well, that's the other thing. That is the other thing. Yeah. He will, within the next 6 to 12 months, be in line to get a new contract. Him and Saka. It's Saliba and Saka that are the two that are up next, really, out of our big players, to get new contracts. So when that inevitably happens, yes, his agents will also probably start dropping news out there that, oh, well, Madrid are interested, and this, that, and the other are interested. So, yeah, overall, I'm not worried. Hurricane barreling down on us right now, but can't miss a Rory Talk stream. What are you going to get, Devin? Where are you based? Are you getting her? Is it Milton? Are you getting Milton? Stay safe. Stay safe. Some of the stuff I've seen online looks pretty scary. So, Florida. Yeah, well, I hope you stay safe. Damn. Are you in the like destruction zone or not? I'm assuming not. I'm assuming if you were, you'd have evacuated, right? Haaland just came out and said he doesn't regret throwing the ball at Gabriel. What a knob. Nah, yeah, I mean, he was a knob for doing it. I wouldn't have expected him to come out and be like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. He's not that sort of guy. He is an exceptionally arrogant man, which, in fairness, he's kind of got the right to be, given how good he is. But who's Milton, Brev? If you don't know Milton, get to know. If you don't know, get to know. Floods in Poland, but cannot tune into Rory. You can or you can't. Stay safe in Poland. Stay safe in Florida. Stay safe wherever you are. But keep tuning in and click the like button. Ben White did it to Erdegaard, to be fair. True. Well, Devin, stay safe. Stay safe. If he's rocking Rory Talks Football live, he's good. That is true. That is true. But one thing has to be said, and this is a fair point. We do need to win things if we are going to keep players like Saliba. People say, like, I don't subscribe to the people saying if we don't win anything this year, Saliba will definitely go. I don't think that's true. But the longer we go without winning something, the more the temptation will be there for these players to leave. And Saliba probably is one that would feel less attachment to the club in terms of if you're looking at players that could do that. Bukayo Saka just, I mean, he's a hair lender. He's never going to leave. He's never going to leave. He is never going to leave. Martin Odegaard, club captain. I think it would take a lot for him to leave. Saliba is the one that you'd probably look at and go, well, he came to the club. We sent him out on loan a few times, even though those loans literally are part of what has turned him into probably the best centre-back in the world. It could happen. So we need to win things. But the one thing I would say, and it does annoy me when people are like, well, if we don't win things, all these players are going to leave. Like, if we don't win things, these players have to take a bit of responsibility. Like, these are the players that are meant to be winning the things. So they can't turn around in the dressing room and go, well, we haven't won anything, so I'm going to move to a club that will. Like, this is on you to win these things. If Odegaard left, it would only be to either Barca or Bayern. Maybe. Would he move to Barca, having been at Real? I don't know. But Saliba was an Arsenal fan growing up, and he said he wants to be a club legend in the summer. Yeah, no, look, I think he'll at least, even if we don't win anything this year, I still think he'll stay. If we don't win anything this year and we don't win anything next year, it happens. It happens. Madrid can want him all they want. I want 20 million in the bank, but it's not going to happen. Well, this is a fair point. How much would you value Saliba at? Genuinely, in the chat, how much do you think William Saliba, if we were to sell him to Real Madrid, how much do you think we would need to get or ask for? 200 mil, 140 mil, 150, 600, might be a bit too much. 250, 150, 200, 90 to 110, that's low. 80, 200, 100, 120. So I think about I think if you're to be like fully realistic of what player prices are these days, I think you'd be looking at 120. I think you would be looking at 120. I think he's more valuable than Declan Rice. The problem is once you start getting up to 140, you're now talking about like most expensive player on because we're never going to get back to the transfer fees of like Neymar. So if you're getting up to 140, 150, like realistically, if we're being realistic, then you're talking like quite considerably the most expensive player on the planet. I'd take a straight swap with Jude. I wouldn't. I would not swap Saliba for Jude Bellingham. I really wouldn't. Jude Bellingham is a brilliant player, and he would definitely add to our squad. But I wouldn't swap him for Saliba. Is Edu dealing with the negotiations? Yeah, that's true. That's true. The other thing that people, and this is the other thing when it comes to Real Madrid as well, that I just find annoying. People link every good player to Real Madrid. Don't get me wrong. They got Mbappe. They got Jude Bellingham. They get plenty of good players, of course. But people link every top player to Real Madrid. Real Madrid are tied by the same financial rules that every other club is, at least in European competition. So, like, if Real Madrid want to go out and get Trent Alexander-Arnold, they're going to have to pay insane wages to him. They are already paying, I mean, God knows how much they're paying Kylian Mbappe. They'll be paying a lot of money for Jude Bellingham, etc., etc. So they can't just go out and buy every good player, every top player under the sun. To be fair, Madrid break 1 billion revenue. No, they do. They do. They can probably spend, well, they can spend more than anyone else, but there is still a cap on that. There is still a limit on just how much they can spend. Yeah, Carvajal's out for a year. Yeah, Trent will be the first one that they go for, in my opinion. Do you think we wouldn't be tempted by Madrid? Do you think he wouldn't be tempted by Madrid if he wants to go? What could we do about that? Oh, I'm sure that, of course, there will be a temptation. Yeah, if Real Madrid come knocking on any football player's door, of course there's a temptation. It's Real Madrid. It's If you were to ever be, look, no one is guaranteed a Champions League, and what Real Madrid have done over the last decade in terms of winning Champions Leagues is unbelievable, unheard of. But that said, Real Madrid is almost the closest you can come to a guaranteed Champions League. And so for sure, the history of the club, like, they come knocking. Carla said no to Madrid, I swear. I'm not sure he did. Yeah, if they come knocking, then it would turn ahead. But equally, Arsenal can turn around and say, well, you're a far more important player at Arsenal. There's not even a guarantee, by the way, that he would go. Look, I think he's a better player. There's no guarantee he would even go and start ahead of Militao and Rudiger to begin with. So at Arsenal, he's a bigger player. He's a more important player. He's been here through that process. Like, you would hope that these players want to see that process to the end, to the trophies. He's paid very well. He gets to live in London, which, I mean, is for some people, isn't for others. Royce also turned down Real Madrid. Yeah, look, people do turn it down, but it's still turning your head. Would you swap Ødegaard for Bellingham? Personally, no, but I would understand people saying yes. Would I swap Ødegaard for Bellingham? I honestly don't know. I probably would. Long term, you probably would. I don't know, though. Like, Ødegaard's the club captain. I don't know. It'd be a tough one. Most people are saying no way. Most people are saying no way. Jude is too moody and isn't as technical. For what we need Ødegaard for, I agree. I wouldn't swap him. For what we need Ødegaard for, I wouldn't. I do also think that at the moment, for some reason, Bellingham is becoming really quite underrated. I would probably say no. But again, it would be something you'd have to think about. Not even contemplate it. But you have to contemplate it. Like, Jude Bellingham, was on for a Ballon d'Or. He's very young. You have to contemplate it. Ultra Pro Gamer, thank you very, very much for the 199 super chat. We don't know how Saliba feels. No need to worry. Yeah, of course. We don't know how Saliba feels. We don't know what his motivations are. The one thing I would say is that with Saliba, we have age on our side. With, if you compare it to, look, just as an example, Robin van Persie, right? Robin van Persie was getting to an age and a point in his career where it was now or never. Same with Harry Kane going to Bayern. Once players start getting to that age, they get to the point where it's like, okay, if I don't make the move now, I really might never get the chance again. With William Saliba, he is still a very young centre-back. So he can still look at it and go, well, I can try at Arsenal for another 2 or 3 years, and then I'll still be in my prime and can move to Real Madrid. Now, there's no guarantee that the Real Madrid offer would still be there. But yeah, that's why I'm not concerned about it. I'm not concerned. And I think, to be honest, like, when you see people online being like, oh, if we don't win anything this season, that's it. Saliba's gone. If we don't win anything this season, Saliba's gone. I think they're being drama queens. I think they're being reactive. I think they're being drama queens, to be honest. How much money does Martinelli realistically get us? If he's not back to his best this season, I think we should replace him with a marquee signing. I think you could get 50 to 60 million probably for Martinelli at this point. I'm confident Martinelli's going to be back to his best anyway. I am fully confident in Martinelli. I think we've seen over the last few games that he's been getting better. I think once we've properly bedded in Marino and Calafiori, Martinelli will be back on top. This is peak international break content. Oh, it is. It is peak international break content. International break have people losing their heads already? That's true. It's true. At least tomorrow, once we've got the games underway again, there will at least actually be some football to talk about. But no, moving on from that, because I think we've talked on it enough. I wanted to talk about the two decisions that I think Arteta, in terms of the starting 11, the two decisions that I think Arteta has in the starting 11 for the biggest games, right? Because we're in a position with the squad now where I just don't think we're going to have that starting 11 that is just like the starting 11 that you see, every week. Because we don't need to do that. We've got enough quality players now that we don't need to do that. But there will be decisions for the biggest games, for the Champions League games, for the Champions League knockout games, for your Liverpools, your Cities, Spurs, even those big games. There are two decisions, in my opinion. The first decision is which two fullbacks do you go with? So you got Timber, you got White, you've got Calafiori. Which one of those doesn't play? That's one decision. And the other decision is the midfield, and do you play Thomas Partey? And for me, that essentially is Thomas Partey or Mikel Merino. And this is obviously assuming that everyone's fit, right? So this is when we assume that Martin Odegaard is fit. This is when we assume we have our best 11 available. So they're the two decisions. Calafiori, White, Timber, and then Partey, Merino. Yeah, we can do polls on this. We'll take it to the polls. Right. Let me whack open a poll. So, first of all, we're gonna go Calafiori or Timber. And this is at left back. Because bear in mind, if you vote Timber at left back, you're basically guaranteeing White at right back. So Calafiori or Timber at left back. Because I think that is the first question. I don't think that, like, at right back, there's not much of a difference, in a way, between White and Timber. Both of them very, very good at right back. Like, it almost doesn't matter which one. I think the big question is Timber or Calafiori at left back. Because that makes a big difference. Because whether you have the left-footed left back there or not, I think makes a big difference. Timber, yeah, so if you think that Timber should be at right back, then you should be voting for Calafiori here. If you think Timber should be at right back, you should be voting for Calafiori here. If you think Timber should be the one that's on the bench, you should also be voting for Calafiori here. Effectively, if you think the right back pair, if you think the full back pairing should be White and Timber, you should be voting for Timber here. How is there more votes than likes on the video? That's just unacceptable. Yeah, once you've voted, please click the like button. That is a great point from VV Vlad. Clearly, you are capable of clicking things if you're voting. So there we go. I mean, there's 61 votes in, and Calafiori has smashed it. Calafiori's up on 70% of the vote. So I think we can end it there. Timber's not coming back on that one. So Calafiori is the left back. Calafiori is the left back. So now the question is, who is at right back? And that question, of course, is between White and Timber. So there is now another poll. Right back, Timber or White? Timber's good at left back, but Cala is my preference. White at right back for me and Timber left back with Partey in midfield. Interesting, Ross. Interesante. Muy interesante. So you're now voting on the right back between White and Timber. Nothing personal to Benny Blanco. Ultra Pro Gamer, thank you very, very much for another 199 super chat. Incredibly generous of you. I feel like it depends on the opponent's setup. It does to an extent. I agree with that. But I think there will be a team that we primarily use for the big games. What about Partey right back? Nah. Look, Partey did a decent job at right back. Yeah, not in the big games. Not in the big games. Imagine like Partey against Vinny Jr. and Mbappe when Real Madrid overload the left-hand side. There we go. 65% of the vote is gone to Timber. So it looks pretty conclusive. Timber over White. So you have chosen Timber right back, Calafiori left back. And honestly, I agree. I agree with that. That I didn't want to give my opinion before the polls because I feel like that can sway you, you know. Some of you look up to me as an idol and you say, well, if Rory believes that, I believe that. No, I'm joking. But no, I do agree. I agree with you. I would say Timber right back and Calafiori left back. And look, that is, and this is again, the fan base like needs to relax on the tribalism of players that they love, because I am not for a second saying that I don't rate Ben White. I am not for a second saying I would not be happy with Ben White playing in those games. I'm not for a second saying that I don't think Ben White will play an awful lot of minutes this season. But for me, and to be honest, it stems on the left back. It stems on the left back situation because I am adamant that we need a left-footed left back. I really do think it massively opens up our left-hand side. It opens up Martinelli. It frees up Martinelli. And Calafiori's been really good. So, Calafiori left back, I think, is the important one. And then once you've done that, it's between Timber and Ben White. And for me, Timber edges it. Timber edges it on what he does going forwards. I see Benny at right back and Timber at left back against Madrid. I don't, personally. I don't. Timber is slightly better defensively, in my opinion. White and Saka is class, but Timber is more defensive. Well, this is the other thing. So one thing people say is, and I hear it, in favour of Ben White, one thing people say is the relationship between White, Saka, and then White, Ødegaard, and Saka. And I agree. They have an unbelievable relationship on that right-hand side. There is nothing to stop Yuri and Timber learning and becoming part of that. So I hear it, but no KT shouts. Kind of sad to see what happens to my guy. Yeah, I saw there was a thing yesterday about Kieran Tierney is well aware that he is not in Arsenal's plans. He never will be in Arsenal's plans, and he's just trying to get back to fitness. So I think they're talking about him going on loan in January and then hopefully getting some sort of like game time and fitness and then being sold in the summer. I would just try and sell him in January because do you know what happens? Do you know what happens? You loan him out in January, he gets injured again, and then you can't sell him in the summer because he's injured. If he is fit by January, I would try and sell him in January. I do feel that White is needed in certain games, especially for corners, as they will be in shorter supply, plus Calafiori is more impactful off the bench. More so than White and Timber. No, that's fair. That's fair, Ross. Hey, there's no incorrect opinions. That is fair. If Arteta is an EAFC 25 player, we'll be rocking all of them in a 5-back. I mean, we could play a 5-back. We could play a 5-back with those 5. But that would be raucous. And now, so now the final one then is Merino or Partey in midfield. Merino or Partey. Or, and I'm actually going to add a third option here. I am going to add the option of both. Because there are a very, very small minority of people that think Declan Rice should be dropped. Now, I will say even before it starts that I disagree with that. But the poll is there. Partey, Merino, or both. This is for the big games. This is for City, Champions League knockouts, Liverpool. This is for the big games. So if you're voting for either Partey or Merino, the assumption is that they're in there with Rice and Ødegaard. And if you go both, then we're dropping Rice. I would go Merino just to allow Rice to be in the 6. Rice at 8 isn't great. Yeah, I mean, Rice's best position for me is 6. Merino is unproven at the moment in 2 months, but now Partey. That's fair. That's fair if you don't think that Merino's proven himself. Are you still in the Gyökeres train, Rory? Oh, I'm still captain. I'm still captaining in it. I'm still captain of the Gyökeres train. And everybody is still welcome aboard. Choo choo. Partey is inconsistent. He can be man of the match or shit. We haven't seen enough of Merino in an Arsenal shirt to have a view. What happened to Rice being good in the 8? He was actually really good there last season. I think Rice is fine in the 8. I think Rice can do a job in the 8. For me, the main thing again is that he's not left-footed. He plays as a left 8 without being left-footed, and I just don't think it's useful. Now we have Calla and Timber. We can let Benny Blanco recover from his injury without needing to rush him back. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Who do you start against Liverpool? Merino or Partey? This is the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing. Now look, on the vote, Merino has 59%, Partey has 29%, and both has 12%. So there are 12% of you that would drop Declan Rice and play Merino and Partey, which is interesting. Very interesting indeed. But Merino has won it. Merino has won it. So there we go. The conclusion from you, the audience, by the way, comfortably the most intellectual audience on football YouTube. So when we see these poll results, we know that there is a significant level of intellect that has gone into them. Merino wins. So we're going we're going Timber, Calafiori, Mikel Merino. Personally not convinced to Partey. He's so inconsistent. Wow. Carter said Bar Smithy. That's tough. That's tough. I would also agree on Merino. So there we go. I agree with everything that you have voted on. I agree. I think Merino will open up the left-hand side massively. I think his height is beneficial. I can see him scoring plenty of goals from Saka crosses at the back post. I think the amount he wins the ball back is exceptional. The only criticism of him I have at the moment is that he takes a fraction of a second too long on the ball. Now, Partey kind of sometimes does that himself as well, but also I think Merino will get up to speed pretty quickly. So, yeah, I agree with all of you. Ross Lawman lost all 3 polls. I'm not part of the intellect. Ross, part of the intellect is diversity of thought. You know, if all of you, if 100% of you all said the same answer, we'd have a problem. We'd have a problem that there are too many sheep. We'd have a sheep problem if all of you voted the same way. So, but no, I agree. I agree with you guys. Mark my words, Merino will score a very important goal for us. Oh, I'm certain of it. I'm certain. I'm waiting for the first Saka ball into a Merino header. It will be there. Have we just gone 2-1 down against Bayern? Have the women gone 2-1 down against Bayern? Is that why you said that? I think Rice has been a bit off the pace. I just think he needs to play in the 6. And to be honest, this is one of the reasons that I want Merino in with Rice. Merino will take some of the defensive workload off Rice. Rice has to try and win the ball back so much. Yes, okay, yeah. We're losing. We're bloody losing. Honestly. We went 1-0 up. We're now 2-1 down. It's a disgrace. Rice had a knock. Yeah, look. Rice got massively overplayed last season. Was clearly absolutely knackered. He got a knock. Basically didn't have a preseason. So yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with having Rice come back in. Will we ever see a Rice, Marino, Nwaneri midfield? Possibly. Do you think it'll be Rice, Marino, Trossard against Bournemouth? Yes, I do. Could you see Marino possibly playing in the 6 with someone like Trossard or Nwaneri in the left 8 in certain games? Unlikely. Unlikely. Marino doesn't really play as a 6. So I'd find that unlikely. There's tweets going about saying Rice only has 1 clean sheet this season. The Arsenal hate is at peak levels. Why are they talking about Rice's clean sheets, though? It's just a bit odd. Partey has been our best midfielder this season. I don't know why he's getting criticised when Rice has been average at best. Partey isn't being criticised here, but Rice's best position is a 6, but he can play in the 8 because he's a very good player. If you swapped Rice and Partey and got Partey to try and do what Rice has been doing this season, I think Rice would look like a better midfielder than Partey because Rice would be playing in his best position and Partey would be playing in his less best position. So, no, look, Partey's been very good for us. I've been very impressed. I didn't think he was capable still of doing what he's done this season. But there are also still times where Thomas Partey is a danger for us on transitions. It can be a bit... He as the season's gone on, actually, his athleticism seemingly is improving, which is really, really good. But yeah, Rice was top 2 best midfielder last season in the 8. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. Rice's best position is the 6. And yet, even when playing in the 8 last season, he was still the second best midfielder in the league, which is why we're playing him at the 8 and not Partey. 100%. Let's remember our players are all shit according to rival fans, but you watch them all celebrate if they leave. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Liverpool fans in my TikTok comments yesterday telling me that Konate has been better than Saliba this season, but then also telling me that Saliba will go to Real Madrid and not Konate. So how do you work that one out? Do you think we will rest Saliba or Gabriel in any Prem games or just Cup games? Saliba, no. Gabriel, yes. In my opinion. In my opinion, Saliba is as good as undroppable. We still do not have anyone even close to offering what Saliba offers in terms of that recovery pace and strength. Gabriel, like, you could comfortably play a game where you had Calafiori as the left centre-back, Timber at left-back, and Ben White as right-back. So it's very easy, in a way, to rotate Gabriel out. It's not, even though I actually think Gabriel has almost been more important than Saliba this season, I think he's been better than Saliba this season. Gabriel's been arguably our player of the season so far. In Calafiori, you have someone that is closer to being able to replicate Gabriel's job that we don't have with Saliba. Rice is a complete midfielder. Yes, his best is the 6, but I don't chain him, let him roam. Double pivot with Marino. Well, that's the thing, though. That is the thing. Marino, alongside Rice, will allow Rice to be in the 6, but to roam with it, which is good for him. Marino really is the only other midfielder we have that will do that. So, do you see what? Who do you see Arteta phasing out next? Like he's moved on from Jesus and Zinni, possibly Trossard. Yeah, I mean Trossard would be the only one you could think of, really, and that's only an age thing. I mean Jorginho, obviously, but do I rate Tonali? He's all right. I've not really seen anything of Tonali yet that's made me think he's amazing. And we still have Tommy, Zinni, and Kivior for depth. Yeah, exactly. Goal 2-2 with Arsenal have scored. Apparently, Arsenal have scored. Arsenal have scored. It's 2-2. It's 2-2. Do you think this will be Trossard's last season at Arsenal? Possibly. If Saudi come back in again, it is possible. It is possible. I want Kai to improve on the ball. I think Kai Havertz is decent on the ball. Occasionally, he gets a bit giraffe with his legs, but I think Havertz is decent on the ball. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Goal Scorer. I'm going to give you all of the information about an Arsenal goal. You have to guess who scored it and which team they scored it against in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community. So get your fingers on your keyboards because we're starting now. The goal was scored with the head. It was a headed goal. It was assisted by Bukayo Saka. It was in the 89th minute of the game. It was at the G-Tech Community Stadium. It was at the G-Tech Community Stadium in a 1-0 win in November 2023. A headed goal assisted by Bukayo Saka in the 89th minute at the G-Tech Community Stadium in a 1-0 win in November 2023. Oh, we've done them. We've done them. But who got it first? MC Gaming said Rice against Brentford. So close. So close yet so far. But the first person to get it right was... Oh, it was him. Havertz versus Brentford. There you go. MC Gaming is the winner. Second was Ethan Udall. Third was Saliba. Fourth was George Christodoulou. And fifth was Rahul. I thought, for those of you that were here yesterday, I thought we'd go again. I thought that Kai goal was classed as no G. No, I don't believe so. Rory's done us dirty. These are the games. These are the games that we play. These are the games that we play. But congratulations to MC Gaming. Congratulations to MC Gaming. Now it is time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. And you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right with the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community, but not as much respect as MC Gaming currently has. This player started their career at Barranquilla FC. They started their career at Barranquilla FC. They went to Junior FC. They then went to Porto. They then went to Liverpool. Who is the player? Wow. People were quick. People were quick. But nobody was quicker than VV Vlad. Once again, VV Vlad. I'm pretty sure he just got it off the Colombian teams. He's unbelievable. Tom Whitbread was second. Saliba was third. George Christodoulou was fourth. And Junior Films was fifth. Wow, Tom's been to Barranquilla. He knew it was Diaz. But he was still beaten by VV Vlad. Tom wants VAR. Tom, you are literally the message below. You are the message below VV Vlad. I apologize that you are the message below VV Vlad. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. But I mean, assuming everyone else can see the same as me and get it, if we get a VAR check in, that would be fantastic. Goal given. There we go. There we go. Ross Lawman. Goal given to VV Vlad. So there we go. If you hadn't typed in Louis, you'd have probably won. That's the heartbreaker. That's the heartbreaker. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the stream. I'm going to be live on Twitch again this evening playing career mode, Waneri to Glory. He is absolutely cooking for us. The link to the Twitch is down in the description below. Other than that, we'll be back tomorrow evening. There will be. We'll do YouTube and then we'll go straight on to the England game on the watch along. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. Hope you all have a fantastic evening and I will catch you all either later or tomorrow. Goodbye. Doo-doo.